Agape Pah. This is my second video about the things that hearing people think of when they think of deaf people, but those things are not culturally deaf. So my first video was about the words hearing impaired and how deaf people do not view themselves as hearing impaired. They actually find those words offensive because they don't view mm, being deaf as just their ears don't work. They view it as their culture, their community, their language group, the group of deaf people who use sign language and have a different world from the hearing world. So they call themselves deaf. The second, today's video is about the TTY. So there are places, public places that uh, talk about or have signs for. We have TTYs available for deaf people to use, or TTYs available for hearing impaired people to use. Deaf people do not use TTYs anymore. They did in the 1960s and 70s and 80s and even into the 90s. Um, but the deaf community more often uses video phones and other video communication. But to let you know what a TTY, a teletypewriter, is, I am going to share my screen and show you what that is. TTY looks like this, with the um, phone, the receiver that a hearing person puts up to their ear goes on to that spot in the TTY, and the deaf person types into this machine, teletypewriter, um, to be able to communicate on a phone call with a hearing person. So the TTY was invented by a deaf man, Robert Whitebright. And this is the picture of him with the first TTY that he created back in 1964. And the TTYs are still out there today. I actually had a TTY in my vocational rehabilitation office when I first started working for VR. I only got a couple wrong phone calls to that TTY, so I ended up fairly quickly just unplugging it to not get those calls anymore, because most of my communication with my clients when they were not in the office with me was either on a video phone or through texting on a cell phone. Video phones can now be used to call from um, a deaf person's video phone to a hearing person's phone that uses voice and audio. Um, so it's very similar to what could be done in 1964 with the TTY. With the invention of cell phones, of texting, of video calling, of the video phone, which that will be another video that I will be doing soon about video phones, and how they are culturally deaf, unlike the TTYs that are no longer part of the widely used technology of the deaf world. Um, but public places still have signs that say TTY is available for hearing impaired or deaf people to use. Airports, public buildings still have that and try to say that they are being deaf friendly by having that technology. But most young deaf people would not even know how to use a TTY or would not have ever seen a TTY because they use FaceTime, Zoom, video phone, texting, other ways of communicating. So that is my um, deaf video of not culturally deaf technology or words that might be heard by hearing people about deafness. So until next time, keep the Agape Pah going, the success when there is unconditional love. Agape Pah.
Agape Pah.